Okay, so my name's Seabourne. My business is called enLITEned Weight Loss, and this is the classic time of year where people start thinking about wanting to lose weight. They want to go on that weight loss journey to shed the pounds. Generally, there are two things that people have to contend with when it comes to weight loss: the food that they eat and their mindset, how they feel about the food that they eat. So as an eating psychology coach, I very much work with those two areas because food choices affect your mindset, and your mindset is going to affect your food choices. So that's why I really kind of hone in on those two particular areas. Now, the women who come and work with me, they arrive with a particular kind of set of knowledge, with the education that they already have around what they have to do to lose weight. Most of the knowledge that they have about food and healthy eating comes from all the diets that they've been on. So they've gone off and they've done their Slimming World, they've done their Weight Watchers, the Dukan diet, they've done the Cambridge diet. And essentially most of those systems offer two kind of solutions: to eat low-fat food and to massively calorie restrict. Now, the thing is with those, they are just not sustainable. So people can lose weight on them, and generally they're just going to pile those pounds back on. They don't work, and if they did, if that was the golden ticket to weight loss, everyone would have been on those diets, they would have lost the weight and never put the weight back on. So they just don't work. It's out of date, it's old-fashioned, and it's just not reliable. So that's the knowledge that they have, but they also arrive with a particular mindset. So the kind of mindset that people who I'm working with, they can't stop thinking about food. They worry that they can't leave food on the plate, they've got to clear their plate. That was the programming that they received as children: you have to finish up all that food. They worry about overeating, portion control. They fear that they can't stick to it, they just can't do it. They have feelings of being guilty, they feel like failure if they've made a few bad choices, that's it, they've blown it. They're worrying about cravings, they worry about motivation. So there's a lot going on. So again, as an eating psychology coach, it's my role is to kind of update the education around how, what and when they should be eating. And it's also using my hypnosis skills to kind of help to reprogram the subconscious mind so that they can actually create a really positive mindset to help them follow the rules, follow the plans, and actually be able to stick to it, because they start to change themselves. They start to kind of get rid of limiting beliefs. What I'd like to do is really to be able to talk to you about a typical client who I work with. So let's call her Helen. So Helen is in her late 40s. She's married, she works full-time. Helen came to see me, she weighed just under 18 stone. It was the heaviest she'd ever been as an adult. She'd spent 20 years trying to lose weight. So she's done them. She's done Slimming World, she's done Weight Watchers, she lost 4 stone on the Cambridge diet, so she knows how to lose weight, but she doesn't know how to keep it off. Every time she's lost weight, she's just put it all back on and ended up heavier every single time she's done it. Helen's desperate to apply for a new job, but she's too embarrassed, too ashamed of her weight to be able to do that. Let's talk about Helen and how she eats, how she feels about food. She's a stressed eater. She eats really, really fast. She binges. She has that whole mindset of, well, that's it, I've eaten one biscuit, I may as well just eat the whole pack. She feels that she's stupid, that she's pathetic, and why is she doing it? She just doesn't understand why she's doing that. She meal skips. She eats highly processed food. She's eating late at night, and then she has that, anyone have that late night, I still want something sweet? Everyone ever notice that feeling at the end of the day? So that's Helen. She can't leave food on her plate. She's linked into diet mentality because she thinks that the only way she's going to do this is to eat low calorie, low fat food. So as an eating psychology coach, I work with mind-body nutrition, and there are 11 basic principles to that. I'm not going to go through all of them today, thank goodness, but I'm just going to go through a few of them, really simple things that I did with Helen that helped her to lose 3 stone. The first thing we did some hypnosis work, some coaching work around teaching her to be a slow eater. Now this was amazing for Helen because she could never leave food on her plate and she always felt that she was overeating. So just by getting her to eat slowly, she came and she goes, this is amazing. I can leave food on my plate. If I order a takeaway, I have to order less food because I just can't finish it. So for her mindset, that is a massive, massive improvement, that she's suddenly feeling in control. So her mindset's feeling better, and it helps her to make better choices because suddenly she's realising how to work with her body. The second thing that I helped her with was to look at her eating rhythm, the time of day that she was eating. So she was meal skipping nearly every time for breakfast, and then she couldn't understand why. Why am I hungry? Why am I snacking all morning? Well, eat breakfast, Helen. So we got her eating a really great breakfast, and it was like magic. She came in, she said, "This is amazing, Carol. I'm not snacking in the morning." I said, "Isn't that strange? It's like magic." No, eat a good breakfast, eat the right foods for breakfast, and you're going to balance your blood sugar levels for the rest of the day and probably eliminate cravings as well. To Helen, it was pretty much like magic because she couldn't believe that her snacking literally just stopped. One of the third things we looked at were her toxic thoughts and beliefs. So what are those? It's what she believed to be true about how she loses weight. So she thought, I have to be low calorie. Low calorie eating is not a good strategy. Let me quickly tell you about the Minnesota starvation study. This was a study that was carried out at the end of the Second World War. Scientists wanted to understand the effect of how starvation had on the mind and the human body because most of Europe had been starving during the Second World War. They had a group of volunteers who were put on a very, very low calorie diet. Helen had done the Cambridge diet, was about 800 calories a day. For this group of volunteers, they were put on 1,500 calories a day. Side effects, their behaviour started to manifest to those of people who have eating disorders, depression, anxiety, irritability, and they were on 1,500 calories a day. So that was a big thing we had to teach Helen, was to stop trying to eat low calorie, to eat really good food. Part of that whole low calorie thing for Helen was eating low fat. So we had to look at her macronutrient balance and actually get her eating good fat. Now Helen had been on antidepressants for a long time. Getting her eating good fat is actually helping to feed her brain, and she couldn't believe the difference. Her food tasted good. Most low-fat foods do not taste good, so it's going to give her more pleasure, more satisfaction, more energy, and because your brain is 50% fat, it actually is feeding her brain so that her cognitive processes are better, and she's doing better at work. Helen lost 3 stone working with me. She also got a massive pay rise and decided to stay in the job that she was doing. So she did very, very well. Helen is an ideal referral for me. Women who are out there who keep going back to the same things time and time again because they don't work. Any women that you know who are constantly trying to lose weight, going back to the same strategies, Weight Watchers, Slimming World, Cambridge diet, things like that, and they can lose weight and then they end up putting it back on. So my referral strategy for you guys is, who are the women in your life, your wives, daughters, girlfriends, sisters, nieces? Women talk to women about how they feel about their weight, how they feel about their body. So for you, for the gentlemen in the room, please educate the women in your life about what I do, because that's a great BNI referral strategy for you to use to help spread the word about enLITEned weight loss. So that's a bit about what I do today. Does anyone have any questions? No? Okay. Yeah.
There's more than just your sessions that you offer, which I know because I've done some work for you. So what else do you give to your
Okay,
clients?
so I do a minimum of 6 session packages, and people get lots of handouts. You get email reports giving you lots of information. I've got some brilliant audio tracks that I recorded with Kevin as well to help with mindset, positive affirmations. Had some brilliant feedback from them, so the clients are really enjoying them. Tim, did you have another question?
Yeah, I did. When we identify somebody that we believe would be a great client for you, how do we start the conversation about it?
I think you have to hear it from them, because just because you can see somebody is bigger, it doesn't mean they want to lose weight. So I think it's something that it's hearing them say it. If they're making comments about their eating, or if they're expressing kind of, I shouldn't have eaten that. But I think that's why I'm saying the best strategy is really women tend to talk to women about that. they have to voice the pain, because I don't ever want to assume that somebody wants to lose weight just because that's the size they happen to be at the moment. You've got to let them.
I've got to ask, why do you only work with women? Men and women's bodies are the function exactly the same.
Women have a very different relationship with food to men. We use food more emotionally than men do. Men tend to be much more linear and direct with how they use food. I do work with men, but 99.99% of the people that I see are women, so I made a conscious decision to market to women. So, and because of that was my own journey, obviously a lot of you know my story, I just want to help women where I used to be, that they don't have to go through this kind of crazy relationship with food. So, more than happy to see guys, but I'd say 99% of everyone I work with are women. But thank you everyone, I hope that was useful for you.